Okay, Tyler Perry fans, I want to talk about something that has been discussed for well over a year now, and I think fans are making it far more complicated than it needs to be. And I know that's a bit hypocritical coming from a guy whose whole thing is dissecting and creating, theories and whatnot about different characters in these shows, but it's the fact that some people feel that certain crossovers between Sisters, All the Queen's Men, Zatima, and to a lesser extent, Bruh, will make things extremely complicated and make no sense. But my question to you all who say that is, this is Tyler Perry writing it. There are plenty of things that don't make sense to these individual shows as it is. But I just wanted to go through a list of about 5 characters, technically 10. 5 characters who have shown up in Sisters, yet they play roles in different Tyler Perry shows connected to the same universe. Alright? So, for example, Sky Black, who plays Amp on All the Queen's Men, played Jacoby in Sisters. I think that's the most referred to one as, you know what, this is ridiculous. They can't cross over because, I think somewhere in Sisters it was stated that Jacoby wasn't even the real name used by that person who worked at the bank. So maybe it was Amp. I'm not saying it couldn't work, but I think that Tyler would have to be very careful in remembering the details of Sisters Season 3. So as a result, in All the Queen's Men, there has to be a point where Amp, doesn't work at the club anymore. And in order to get money, he creates a new identity to work at the bank. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. Then the second most talked about character would be Blue from All the Queen's Men, who was also portrayed as Officer Rhea during Sisters, I want to say season 2. Was it late season 1 and then also season 2? I know she was in like the first 2 seasons. How is she Blue? Guys, just a completely different character. Yeah, when Zach meets Madam, what if Blue is right by her side and then Zach recognizes her? Easy, just pretend you don't know who it is. I mean, think of it this way. The same actress that plays Angela on Zatima and now also on Sisters, she was sitting in the same room as Madam. And this actor also played Dawn on All the Queen's Men. I can't recall if Dawn and Madam ever shared a scene together. So I can't be like, well, yeah, how come Madam didn't recognize her or at least say, hey, I think you look familiar? Nope, I don't think that ever came up. Also, the same actress that portrays Fatima's mother, Mona, in Zatima Season 2, she played Helen, a character in Sister Season 1, Episode 1, basically the pilot episode that Andy was representing in a divorce. Okay. And then finally, the least, I guess you could say, talked about one is the actor who plays Tom on Bruh also played a character named Ben in Sister Season 1. Folks, Tyler Perry recycles actors all the time. Sometimes he'll have an actor on one show, and then after maybe a couple episodes, he'll be like, hey, you know what? You're only supposed to have a minor role, but I'll bump you up to a recurring character. Or better yet, how about this? I'll take your character out of this show, and then I'll write a whole different character for you in this other project I'm working on. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be confusing. Just because the same actor that plays Blue is in All the Queen's Men, and let's say she appears in Sisters, that doesn't mean Officer Rhea never existed. Sure, I mean, there could be a tongue-in-cheek moment where Zach is like, hey, you know what? You look familiar. How do we know Officer Rhea isn't related to Blue? I'm not saying that she is, but I don't know, twin sister, cousin, I don't know. It's like they always say, everybody has a twin everywhere. But I don't think we need to, consider crossovers the end of the world. No, the crossover doesn't make sense. Just because Jacoby or excuse me, just because let's say Amp might appear in Sistas or something someday, that doesn't mean it has to be confusing as hell that Jacoby exists. I mean, like I said before, Tyler could tie the stories together or tie the character together, but I highly doubt it. Jacoby is in the rear view mirror from over two seasons ago at this point. Amp is the character now that really matters. So, with that being said, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Crossovers are crossovers. Simple as that. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll catch you in the next one.